Howdy folks, welcome back to Bull 482. We're working on Betty, the 82 4BT powered F150. We're doing some upgrades to the front end again. Upgrades and an addition, something I'm missing. One thing I'm putting on, I'm going to do this off camera just because I ordered some dust shields. I'm missing them. Mine were all beat up when I rebuilt this front axle years ago when I had bought it. And then I also got some more energy suspension stuff here. This is going to accommodate our lift because we're going to be lifting the front end 5 inches over what it is right now. Right now the front has a 5-inch lift with the solid axle, the coil buckets that I've used, and the stock 78 F150 coil springs that are in it now. Puts it at about 5 inches lift over stock. We're going to go another 5 to 6 inches with the springs that I got, and I'll show you those here in a moment. Because we're doing that, we need to put a more aggressive degree C-bushing in our radius arms. Because what's going to happen is, so let's see if you can see this. See, this is our radius arm. The axle goes here, and say this part of my hand is like that. Well, right now my caster is like this. I have almost no caster with the way this is lifted. When we put the springs in, the axle is going to come down like this, and I'm going to have I'll have positive caster. I think it's positive caster. Not good. It's going to make it shake and wobble like a shopping cart. So we put those C bushings in that are 7 degree instead of the 2 degree that I have right now. It's going to pull the axle back this way, and it'll do a few different things. It'll make it drive tighter down the road. It'll want to self-steer or come to center on its own instead of right now. You kind of have to just drive it like it's a military vehicle with no self-centering steering. It's very annoying and very sketchy. So it'll correct that. It'll also make the steering feel a little bit heavier because we're going to be throwing the axle back a little bit. So it'll add some weight to the steering, which would be really nice because right now it's way too easy and it's not good. So yeah, we'll bring our axle back, and then it'll actually have some angle to it when it turns, so that'll be kind of cool. The other thing, the springs. I've been waiting. When did we do the lift in the rear? I'll post a link for those videos down below, lifting the rear with the Sky Off-Road spring hangers and shackle kit. But I've been waiting ever since then for these guys. This is a 5-inch lift spring from Deaver. These are the Superflex H57C. Those are 300 pounds per inch spring rate, so that'll ride really soft and it'll flex pretty good. So front and rear on this thing's going to flex pretty good, which is going to pose another problem I'm going to have to address with something else that I'm looking at. I won't mention it, but yeah, so that's a thing. I think the springs I have now are 400 pounds per inch, so we're going to have definitely a lot softer ride up front. I'm also going to put my second shock back in. I was just trying this thing out with just 2 shocks up front, but because we're putting a softer spring in there, I'm going to put my other pair of shocks back in. The cool thing is when I put the solid axle in, those shocks that I have are too long for this ride height. So when we put these in, it'll actually make the shock, well, the shock will now be at the correct height, correct length. So yeah, our shock's a little bit longer than the spring. That's perfect. So probably what we'll have to do is when we get the spring in there, we'll have to remove the shock, and then we'll get the spring in there. We'll compress the one side. We'll throw a shock in, and one of these pairs will act as a limiter, which is not always the greatest, but it'll work for me. What I want to do now is actually start ripping off the tires. You guys have seen that a million times on this channel. I'm just going to rip the wheels off, and then I'll get you set up in there, and we'll start getting the springs and shocks out, and then we're going to do the C bushings first. We'll get the C bushings, and that's going to be the biggest part of the challenge. The springs we can just, you know, throw in there, but yeah, I'm going to get to getting, and I'll show you what we'll be working on here next. Alright, I got the suspension in full droop, or at least as far as the spring will go. Looking at our drive shaft, we still have a lot of room between the cross member, but this is going to have to come down 5 more inches in order to get that new spring in, so we'll see if the shock actually limits it. Oh yeah, this is up there. Just looking at the axle right now, this is probably going to be ride height. I have 0 degrees caster. It is literally parallel or perpendicular to the ground. So 7 degrees is going to bring her back. It'll bring our drive shaft angle here down a tiny bit. I know when I do my transfer case swap, I'm going to set it up so that we're running double card U-joints, front and rear. So that is going to be an upgrade down the road. Probably going to do that to this before we do any work to the junkyard truck. Come on, Jimmy. I wasn't going to start this till Monday, but me and Dad kind of got done with our firewood adventure for the day, so got home early enough. I'm going to at least start this. You know, one thing about this axle swap I did, I set it so that my axle would be kind of far forward, and some people thought, oh, that's going to look goofy, blah blah blah. Well, I did it for a reason, because I thought maybe in the future I might want to lift this. Here I am lifting it. I'm having it forward like this will make the axle or the wheel sit center in the wheel well when it comes down with the lift. So there you go. Drive shaft still turns. That's good. And out you come. Wow, that axle really does droop down quite a bit. The dust boot is just now touching the cross member all the way down like this. Actually, it's not even all the way down. These are pretty long shocks. I want to put a new spring in and just kind of see where it sits. Test fit it before we get too much farther along. Let's see, can we go a little bit further? Yeah, that's just all we needed right there. Look at that. Oh, right, look at that. Got a ton of down travel now. So I had to loosen up my track bar and move the axle over to get the other spring in. I've left the track bar loose because what we're going to do is we're going to jack this up, put it on its tires, and then we'll adjust the track bar just to make sure our axle is straight and not you know, to one side or the other. And then I'm going to have to get that upper link, the drag link up here, loosened up so we can adjust our steering wheel position. Well, let's jack this thing up, see what happens. Well, we have a significant amount of suspension up front now. Now, if the front sits higher than the back still needs to get some, it's going to get a block, but a pinion angle block, because we're putting a double cardan U-joint drive shaft in the back, so we need to bring our pumpkin up. So what that means is that it will lift the back up a tiny bit. Well, our steering lengths are at an okay angle. It would be nice to do our tie rod flip. I would say it sits level. Hey, look at that. I can live with that. We can always add, yeah, we're gonna add a block in the back for our axle pinion angle. Hell yeah. I will put my second shocks in later. I'm gonna do that when we go to do the excuse me, when I go to do these guys, the C bushings. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I want to go drive it. So I just measured the truck. It's from the ground here and on the other side and here, it's 30 inches exactly. It's a little off here and there, but you know, I'm measuring off the concrete, but she sits level. This battery here is squawking at me, so I'm gonna put you, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, new battery. So I'm gonna center this axle eyeball. I also want to look at our springs here. Looks pretty good. I wonder if we can give ourselves a little bit more room there on that side. Well, Scott, if you're watching, it's a good thing we gave ourselves some adjustment here. Okay. If I have to, I could make another one. That was really easy to make that bar. I should have the steering wheel unlocked. I had to kind of look at it from a different perspective to see if our axles match up. Because we had all this apart. It looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna roll with that. Would be nice to get this on an alignment rack and actually see how everything is, see what we need to tweak. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna try and straighten out my steering wheel. It actually needs to be lengthened, I think. Yeah, because this is pointing to the right. So this needs to come over, so that'll extend it. This is actually bottomed out, so extending it will be kind of nice. Still got a good angle on it. Okay, I think the track bar is good. I'll tighten that up before we go. I'm gonna try and get this thing apart. Oh. Looks pretty good. I think we got a little bit more bow on this side, but I think it's fine. I managed to get these two loose. So, was bottomed out, but we extended it by a couple inches probably. Well, that'll be good because, well, actually it doesn't matter, this got lengthened. Anyways, so steering wheel is kind of straight. I'm gonna take it for a test drive, see how we look. Track bar is in an okay position. But what I do want to do, these steering links are gonna go anyways. We're gonna do a tie rod flip, probably go to 1 ton joints. They're gonna go on top. Actually, I'm worried about this bar hitting that, which will probably be a thing if we did that. I might do a Heim joint end, leave this lower bar where it's at. So we'll make a new one that'll go here, and then this drag link will go on top, and it should keep us away from this guy, and it will put this at a little bit better angle. You can see it's just ever so slightly off. So if this comes up and gets extended a little bit, that should be good. In fact, I want to measure my track bar and see how long it is and compare it to this. In fact, I'll do it right now, which you guys won't be able to see very much. 39 3/4. And we're about 37 inch. So if we go from the knuckle to here, puts us right on par with the track bar. So if I make a new drag link going from here to here at this angle, will put me at a real close to the length of this track bar. So what that'll do is it'll make it so everything moves at the same time, so we're not having any bumps here. So that'll probably be the next kit we get for this. And then at that same time, or at a later time depending on how money allows, I would like to install a steering ram. So I'm going to get probably a bigger cover, a beefier cover than this. Actually, you know what, that should be pretty good. But we'll reuse this cover. We're going to weld a mount somewhere right here, and we're going to put a hydraulic ram on the toe link. And probably what I'll do is I'll do it so it has a collar here, because we're going to make it so that you can turn this still like factory to adjust the toe. I want to make it serviceable, easy to service. Yeah, so my steering box already has ports up there for a hydraulic ram, so that's something I would like to do. The hydraulic ram will take a big load off the track bar, and it's just lateral as far as when steering's happening. It'll all happen right here. It'll steer a lot nicer. Okay, so these are tight. I need to tighten these up, and then I'm gonna go clean up, and then we're gonna take this for a test drive. It's probably gonna wobble because we don't have much caster anymore. In fact, I have an idea. Let's try something here. I have Yeah, no, this right here is where we're heading. We need to add those 7-degree caster bushings. We got basically no caster. I need just a little bit of airflow. That was pretty easy actually, just swapping the springs. Our next big tackle hurdle is going to be doing the C bushings. I'm not looking forward to that. Oh yeah. I gotta adjust my steering wheel, that's for sure. Straight because of the caster. I might leave the second pair of shocks out, I'm not sure. Is about as fast as I want to go, how squirrely the front end is. It's not really that bouncy. Barely notice the bumps. This road here is bad for being kind of rough. Nice and smooth. I'm liking these coil springs. I like it. Oh, they've got some clear cut action over here. Wow. me tomorrow, for you guys the next video, I'm gonna take the front end back apart, and we're gonna go ahead and replace the C bushings. I think while I have them, let's just throw the second set of shocks in. So far, I don't really think I need it, but I'm just gonna put it in anyways. I've got them, why not? So far, I'm liking the ride. Front and rear, it's just total night and day. Get our caster situation fixed up, she should drive nice. Before I did the lift in the back, with the caster bushings I have now, I could go 65 miles an hour on this road. It drive real nice. You gotta really steer this thing. Like, what is this, a military vehicle? Okay, we ain't got anybody coming, we're just gonna go. Well, I'm gonna go home, clean up, take a shower. And go get some dinner. This does ride so nice though. Oh man. Loving it. Ride quality on this thing now is just amazing. I almost bought Skyjacker soft ride springs for it, but really wanted these Deaver springs. I noticed it's not as tippy. I think it's probably because it's not a high heel shoe anymore, so. Okay guys, stay tuned for the next video. I'm done.